talked about you learned more in that after summer high school and first year into your first game than you did in all 4 years of high school. A lot of that could be attributed to playing with Steve Nash, who, you know, the offense you guys played, the pick and rolls that you guys ran out through. I could only imagine you did not play with a guard like that in high school. So it felt like, I mean, from the outside looking in, it felt like Steve Nash was getting you easy buckets every single game out. What was that like, building that sort of camaraderie and chemistry with him in early in your career?
I think people fail to realize is that when I first got drafted, Amar'e is my point guard.
That's a fact.
Right. Shout out Steph.
That's a fact.
And me and Steph had a chemistry that was great also.
Yep.
Right? You see that poster on Ola Canby, that was a pass pick and roll from Steph Marbury. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that pick and roll dynamic was already established prior to Nash coming. But when we brought Nash in, I think 2 years later or the following year, I had one rookie of the year. The second year we had traded, you know, a lot of players and we're trying to revamp. And then I went to Dallas to go help recruit Steve. I flew in a private plane with the owners, the coaches, the GM.
What was that recruiting pitch like?
That was new for me, bro. I was 21. I was 20 years old. I'm on the plane with the owners, and we're flying the private jet. We're going to try to recruit Steve Nash.
Yeah.
Because it was an option whether to try to get Shaq, Kobe, or Nash.
Oh wow.
And so Dallas is going back and forth with Shaq, and I think Mark Cuban was trying to figure out, all right, we're trying to sign Shaq. And so Nash is like, well, I'm here waiting, guys. You got to tell me something.
Yeah.
And we're like, Nash, we're here for you, bro. Like we coming to get you. And my pitch was, I was basically saying, Nash, like I can't be stopped. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had a lot of confidence when I was, you know what I'm saying? And I was just telling Nash, hey, I can't be stopped, bro. We need a point guard.
Yeah. And Elvis' confidence.
Yeah,
even higher, even more.
This is one of the times where like the third party IG players will show all the highlights of you yamming on dudes.
Yeah.
The first 3 seasons. Yeah, you was a poster every night, man. Like
and that's probably like, this guy is probably, what is he talking about? And I was just a 21-year-old confident kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we need a point guard. We have Sean Marion. We have Joe Johnson. We have all these pieces.
Yep.
We need a point guard.
Right.
And we landed Steve. Once we got Steve, bro, we didn't take no time at all. No needed for sit-down conversations, watching film together. Once we practiced, we knew we had something special right away.
A wrap.
So with Steph, right? Let's go back to Steph for a second. With Steph, I feel like you and Steph was about to start a whole new revolution in pick and rolls.
Yeah.
You and Steph, right? It was too athletic, an athletic point guard and an athletic big. Yeah. You haven't seen that in the NBA. You saw that rarely in the NBA up until that point, right?
I'm trying to think.
Think about points and bigs. Who was in the pick and roll?
I'm still trying to think.
Right?
I don't.
They was about to start something,
realize
right?
how Steph used to play,
right?
Man. You know what I mean?
Steph was that guy.
He was.
So when he got with Steph had an opportunity to play with. I just played with Garnett. Now I get to play with Amar'e.
Yeah,
he's like a young Garnett coming in here.
Real. Yep.
So that was that mindset. But now you get Steve Nash.
Yeah,
and now you really revolutionizes the pick and roll game.
Right.
What did what did you learn from Steve Nash? What did Steve Nash teach you on a day-to-day basis?
What I learned from Steve was the fact of always being in top shape. That was the first thing I learned, right? Because Nash is a type point guard where he see you up the court, he's going to kick it ahead. And then you can make the play in open court to the basket. So I'm like, this is an easy, 4 points a quarter.
Yep.
By just catching the ball on the wing and making the play on the fast break.
Yeah.
And then Nash always stayed in shape because he played soccer in the offseason. So we were like, all right, we're just going. And Sean Marion, one of the fastest guys I ever seen on the court. So we were always like in top shape. And then secondly, the pick and roll dynamic, I knew Nash was a true point guard because anytime you're open, when you think you're not open, the ball's right there waiting for you. You know what I'm saying? So then now my mindset shifted because I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to find pockets where I'm open. So when I said the pick and roll, my objective now is to get him open and make my defender guard him. And then now I got pockets where I'm open. And so we start just kind of slowly working at little small details and then the IQ of the game, right? Nash was always, he's a true point guard. So he was always analyzing the game and seeing the actual court. And I'm thinking, well, Nash, I'm only shooting 12 shots a game. Man. I need 5 more shots, man. I need the ball more. But Nash is seeing, well, when you dive into the basket, you drawing 2 people. Mm-hmm. The corner man's open, or this guy's open. You know what I'm saying? Well, all right, well, I'm going to the post.
Yeah.
In the post, you got double team. You got guys that's going to trap you in the post. You know what I'm saying? So the pick and roll became our thing, and all these little IQ points that I was noticing, that Steve was noticing, I learned a lot from him in that space.
If you love watching players get buckets, then you're going to love this promo from Dash Pass. During the playoffs, Dash Pass members will receive a special promotion every time a player scores 50 points or more in the game.
Listen up, all right? Because this is a Dash Pass members only deal. So sign up today and save more all year round with $0 delivery fees and reduced service fees on eligible orders, plus perks like this one.
So when a player scores 50 or more points during the playoffs, Dash Pass members will score a free 3-piece crispy tender combo from Wingstop. To claim the deal, just place a 3-piece crispy tenders combo from Wingstop in your cart. Make sure your cart has a subtotal of $20 or more and drop in the promo code WINGSTOP50 at checkout. Then place your order and go enjoy it.
Again, make sure you use the promo code WINGSTOP50 the day after the 50-point game. The offer is valid with use of promo code from noon to midnight the day after a 50-point game on eligible orders at participating merchants. You must have an active Dash Pass account, and don't forget, terms apply.
With the playoffs starting up, you know the stars are going to shine the brightest. So sign up for Dash Pass today for your chance to take part in this exclusive DoorDash deal. You know, they swoosh, you save.
I can only think of, you got Stockton Malone, got Amar'e Steve Nash. Who else you got?
But Stockton,
Peyton,
no, they were the
Peyton
best. They were the best. They the best to do it. But I'm saying they some of the best duos to do it. We talking about athleticism that Marbury had coming off the pick and roll.
Right,
yeah,
that was the whole
Stockton
thing.
didn't have that.
I'm just saying.
I was actually upset when Marbury got traded because, first of all, this before we got Steve.
Yeah,
Right.
And then when Steph got traded, I'm like, we just my rookie year, we went to the playoffs. We, you know what I'm saying, which was unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
I won rookie of the year. We got, Frank Johnson was our head coach at the time, who I had a great relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, we got Joe, we got Marion, we got a solid team.
Mm-hmm.
Steph and Sean was both all-stars. So I'm like, and then when Steph got traded, I was completely shocked by it. You know what I'm saying? I was surprised because I thought we had something going.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, Steph was like a mentor. I come to New York with Steph. We'll go to Rucker Park. We go shopping. Like we had a whole friend of, you know what I'm saying, a whole connection there. And then when Steph got traded, I was taken back by it. So that's why I was like, you know what, we need a point guard.
Yeah, hurry up.
You know what I'm saying?
Because y'all needed a big too at that point in time, which is why y'all was going to get Shaq.
Right.
And then that was at the time where Cole was talking about leaving LA.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like you had to pick, you had to be strategic on that. Everybody was going after Shaq and thinking Cole was going to leave.
Right.
And then you got Steve Nash over here in the cut that's just ready to come swoop up.
I mean, even more than that, like you could make the argument that your addition with Steve Nash helped propel him for those MVP runs because
for sure.
Y'all completely
1000%.
revolutionized offensive basketball the way I was playing ball. And Steve Nash, no disrespect to him, he was absolutely talented and absolutely somebody who was, had a lot of notoriety around the league, but he became a megastar because of that surrounding cast in Phoenix. Did you ever sort of feel like, man, this is, I understand this is a team game and all that, but it's like, damn, MVP for my man Steve?
Yeah, I mean, I figured one day, I was like, well, God willing, I'll get an MVP.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really thinking about, Nash winning MVP or not at the moment. I'm like, all right, congratulations, you know what I'm saying? I was first team All-NBA and these things.
Right.
I'm leading the team in score and blocks and all this stuff. But Nash is diamond, and Nash is the engine of the team.
Yeah.
So I understand why the notoriety went toward Nash during that run.
I remember vividly that San Antonio Spurs series.
Oh, yeah.
Where Nash was the MVP, but you was giving Tim Duncan the hell in that game, and everybody knew Tim Duncan was that dude, and it was almost like, dude, this is the future of big man basketball right here. The way you was just dunking on him. I think he got like 42? Was it 40?
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
It was
I think I averaged like 37 or something that series.
Nah,
it was crazy.
like you gave it to Tim Duncan that series, man. Like you looked like the best player on the floor with the MVP as your teammate. Like that had to make it from the outside looking in. It made it look like, yo.
Remember, I'm gonna butt in, but
no, go ahead.
Raw talent.
Right.
He said he was learning. He learned so much in 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Think about by the time he got to the playoffs, where he learned how to speed and how to play fast. Against San Antonio, they was loading up.
Yeah, they had to.
Sure. No, I will say this, bro, especially that team with prime Tim Duncan, bro, to be able to average 35 or get. I remember
it's different, champ.
That's different. And at the rim, too. You don't get to the rim against San Antonio.
No, because they had all bigs. You had Tim, you had 4 different bigs that always rotate in and out. And it wasn't easy, but I was definitely taking advantage of the opportunity of playing against the best power forward in the game. As a young player, I'm like, all right, well, I want to be the best power forward. I want to be known as the best power forward in the game. So I got to make sure I bring it. I'm attacking this. I'm taking it as a challenge, and that's why I went, at that series the way I did.